It's August 12th, 2026. You know, the ridiculous of everything. And these people are a terrorist group, a domestic terrorist group. Investigators have called them that. And domestic terrorism is a group of people to further their own belief with religious, social, or political backing with threats or harm to human life against the U.S. constitutional laws, where they keep telling you the Constitution don't mean anything. It does. Where Chief Bruce Lewinsky in Portage County went on the news and said there's scammers up here, imposters. They are impersonating him, other sheriffs, law enforcement, federal agents, fake court orders, and fake arrest warrants, trying to scam people out of money, and they're complete scum. Well, this is part of the scum group, but these people are more dangerous because they're breaking in private homes. And they're literally drugging people for fake confessions, photoshopping and framing them, and having beaten, raped on their drugs. And they never let anybody in their home. They never see anybody. And where we moved into that new house, the well water was orange. I thought it was killing me, giving me cancer. I even told the doctor that repeatedly. Is it the dirty well water? Never seen her talk to anybody. Scary thought of rapists playing with you like this. But the rapists run around and act like they can get money. And these people do not know one law. I told you where the case, they told people they had sodium pentothal reports. We have the right to drug her. We have the right to drug her to get the truth out of her. We have the right to beat and rape her. We have the right to go in homes. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. See, that's where, when the case first started, I told you about that little white man showing up. I woke up with another bruise on my leg. Throwing up, went down to Walmart 62. He came up to me for every idle word. You telling us, I'll turn it on you. Try to leave Dave Ellis, your child molester. And it's like, who are you? He said, that bruise on your leg? It was way up on my thigh. He said, I use sodium pentothal on you. Do you know what you said? And something about wearing this one nightgown bent over and probably once accidentally seen your butt in a life of pain because of it. Then threatened me again. Got away from that freak, went home to a legally bugged house. Dave verified I didn't own that nightgown years ago, just got in the last year. And I was dressed modestly and they only seen the back of my knees. He made up the whole thing. Other people came up where he had bruises before throwing up and infected. It wasn't the well water, it was us. We had drugged you and told you to say this. We had drugged you and told you to say that. We photoshopped all our lies, erased people out of the room, and would laugh at me. And I'd run to the bathroom and vomit to find out it wasn't the well water. Some guy has said, do you realize how horrifying it had to be for her? To find out men that she had never met had raped her. It was terrorizing. Let alone they were supposed to frame me and I never seen her talk to him. I told you before 12/21/18, it should be in between Thanksgiving of 18 and 12/21/18, where they had came up and said that they were drug traders and human traffickers from Florida and they worked for Judge Peters. Okay, and they were relocating people to Florida to a resort area. When Judge Peters and 100 men down there got arrested, they were by Disney. You have to listen to what they say. Okay. Well, some of those big drug dealers came up behind me. It was in the evening. And I could feel them walk up behind me and beside me. And apparently they had got into it with my ex-husband. Said that fucking bastard, that arrogant asshole, who does he think he is? Dave wants us to take her out and kill her. I don't care what he thinks. Who does he think he is talking to us like this? Why waste a good woman when we can sell her, make money off of it? We don't care what he thinks. Does he want us to do this to him? We get paid to do it to her. He said, I know, but still, who does he think he is talking to us like this? He said that they said they used Z drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. Dave was involved in the house. Z drugs erase your memory as it's happening. It causes amnesia and sleepwalking. Hypnotic drugs, I didn't understand what they meant. I looked up hypnotic drugs. They've had them for almost 200 years. Cause amnesia and sleepwalking. They said, Dave and Melissa were in it together. They had it planned for months before they did it. They decided together that Dave and Melissa decided she would be the more appropriate parent. And when she went for full custody, she wouldn't be able to help John to ensure that she got everything. And that Dave would get everything during the divorce. She has no memory of those people or anything that they did to her. And then swearing about Dave again. They told Louisville in 19. Told other people. Act like Dave and Melissa were a couple. I used to make comments when I was alone. Does John know? His wife was cheating with his dad. That's sick. Well, they were married. Okay. Let's see. Then I told you about in 21. They came back to Louisville. And they told everybody how I was drugged and told to say it before. Dave was involved. 8/9/21, the apartment building for my second close offense. A lady and little girls were there. They were outside talking. 4 or 5 neighbors did a police report. 1295 Fairland screamed at him. Little white lady. What else? The May 25th, 21, 6 p.m., Wendy's in Louisville. Memorial Day weekend, 21, that Heavisat Lauren and Michelle. There was goons from Ravenna at the end of Fairlawn Street. I could see them drive by. Yelled at him, are you crazy? Can I have a drug confession? Well, we just found out they drugged her and told her what to say. I thought, bullshit, they were admitting it in 18 and 19. Okay? And then they were, in 21, they were admitting that they photoshopped the shower scene. Okay? Well, February 2nd, 22, I'm in Burlington Coat Factory in the Belden area at noon. This Latino man walks up to me with his girlfriend. She had black hair. It was wavy in spirals. She said, I see her out today. It's not funny what's going on. He said, I know. I wish I went and drugged her first and told her to say it. He said, I regret it with everything that's going on. I feel horrible. I got my client away from him. We get outside. I heard that Latino man said that he was the first one to drug you and tell you that before. And I said, I've never seen him before. Stay out of it. I'll tell the police. We go in to Save a Lot, and where they're sending their hate crime through cell phones. people's phones are dinging around me, and all of a sudden people start running. Oh my goodness, they admitted a drug on her and tell her to say it before. We go down to Canton, and we go to his apartment, and this Black Sebring, an investigator from Ravenna, Portage County, would follow me around at different times in a Black Sebring. Okay, he pulls up. I could hear him swearing. I seen her out today. I found out that bastard really did drug her and tell her to say it before. And he's swearing. It was 4 years ago. Judge Peters' group told him even what kind of drugs he used on me. In 18. Before 12, 21, 18, because those big drug dealers said with everything that's going on, we ought to take her out and chip her so someone can't take off with her. Okay? And yeah. And they were announcing that Dave was looking for someone to kill me. That's weird. 12, 21, 18. I was stabbed in the neck, bashed in the head, being raped, and left for dead. And then the gunshot night of Christmas Eve of 2018. I got really bad there for a while. Get the idea. But they already told on him in 18. And see, I used to run around in 18 when the case first started. When people would show up and we charged her and told her to say this, I'd go around and get my own witnesses. And I had to look crazy going up to people, hey, you know, this never happened, or this or that. And they'd look at me, well, of course not. Like they said when the case first started, there was people showing up admitting they were for Dave and were drugging up and telling her to say lies. I met a U.S. Marshals kid in like April, May of 24 at a storage unit. She was moving out. The cartel was playing with her. She had been drugged up twice, didn't know what happened to her. And she was moving out of the area for safety. My neighbor Mike got roofied in a bar. He didn't know how he got home. He didn't know how he changed his shoes, what he'd ate, how he got money in his pocket. And then tried to tell me he was a New York cop and thought I was pretty. He's like, dear God, you're stoned out of your mind. Get the idea. I could have told him to say or do anything. Carl's daughter, Audrey, watched a thing on the cartels. Hypnotic drugs are their drugs of choice. They load up syringes, go to big raves, parties, and walk by the kids they want and stab them, keep walking. While they're looking around for what bit them, okay, or what jabbed them, and they're already gone, and then within a minute it takes effect. And then they're sleepwalking, and they will not fight them when they go to leave. She said that there was somebody willing to let them show how much they could control you. They did the experiment on TV where they drugged this guy up, waited a couple minutes, told him to go empty his bank account, taped his face, taped his expression. He was a hair off. They knew he was drugged, and they were looking for it. Said he was a hair off. The dangers of using hypnotic drugs. You're sleepwalking with total amnesia. And because your conscious is shut down, you can end up dead. Because you can sleep drive, you can drive a car, you can have sex, you can cook, and you don't have a conscience to stop you. Where they told the Family Church in 19 that They had mind-controlling drugs. They could control anybody for 4 to 6 hours. It's the hypnotic seed drugs they were talking about in 18. My coworker Dar was taken from a bar, doesn't even remember meeting him either, and then left in a puddle of pee outside raising somebody's kid she's never met. And her friends said that she took a drink. She remembers taking a drink. The room went dizzy and black, and then nothing. Then found herself out in a puddle of pee. You know, up in Forest Grove Drive in Akron, when I was working up there, where the investigators were everywhere up there in 23 and 24, told people not to say a word to me. It's already documented and verified everything was photoshopped on her before. Okay? Well, the construction workers up there were saying, you know, it's like a mean teenage stunt. That went too far. The whole thing is like a mean teenage stunt. Roofing somebody, basically, and telling them to say something horrible so they wouldn't know about it. And photoshopped a washing and stocking tapes. The whole thing is like a mean teenage stunt. Went too far because they were beating and raping her. You know, some guy today went to walk into Bob Evans. He said that crazy church and that crazy religion, they believe that you can tell someone if you get someone to verify it makes a law. Yeah. They also believe the world's only 6,000 years old and that the dinosaurs never existed, that scientists are trying to fool everyone. There was no prehistoric age, no stone age. There was nothing till the Bible. Nothing. They lie. And those dinosaurs in museums are fake. Because there was nothing before the Bible. But in their religion, if you can destroy people, if you hate someone, you can get 2 of your friends to back you. It becomes permanent law. You can tell a lie on somebody, as long as they back it, you can cost them their marriage, their home, their kids. You can totally destroy them. See, that's where those people thought they could have me drugged up and told to say something. And in stocking tapes and with a hypnotic drug, hire drug dealers to do it. They could destroy me. And I never seen her talk to anybody and thought I was dying of cancer. From the dirty well water I was showering in. It's a bitch move. See, that's where that guy was down at the VA on Market Street in Canton. When I went to leave, I'm from the prosecutor's office. He is not. He's one of those scum people. He's talking about, well, the guy said, I heard her ex-husband totally defended her. And they taped him. So did I. He said, I told him to act normal so she wouldn't know what we were doing. They thought they could pull a bitch move. Roofing me, tell me say something horrible and just pull it out their ass. Don't work that way, bitch. And normal is totally defending me. Karen, you're good to the kids, you're good to the grandkids. You would never hurt anyone. You're good to everyone, no matter who it is. See, that's where when I asked John what was going on, he didn't know. I told Melissa, his ex-wife, going through a divorce, going to be moving out. She'd have her kids and her church people make up something, but don't worry about it. Nobody can say anything bad about you. Totally defends me. Years later, she goes for full custody. Pulls another bitch move. She had dropped off the kids. We got everybody settled. He went to the bathroom. Waited for him. She snuck in his house. That's breaking and entering. She had no right in it. Waited for him to come out of the bathroom, lunged at him, screaming. He shoved her, being startled. She laughed. Now I got you. Had him arrested, domestic violence. Lost his kids for a year. Called me up and said, Mom, I'm going to try to go back for custody. He said, I'd like you to be a reliable name on a court record to babysit my kids after school. I said, John, I work 2 jobs. I don't get off the first one, let alone the second one. I barely make it now. Mom, if you don't help me, I'll lose my kids forever. I need you to babysit those kids, and I need you to be a reliable name on a court record to pick them up. And I said, John, I don't get off my first job, let alone my second. I'll lose my apartment. And I could hear the pain in his voice as he pleaded with me, and my heart just ached. But there was nothing I could do. He lost his kids. He moved to Florida years ago. Got remarried. Him and his new wife started a church. He looks happier than ever. Had to get away from that occult. Now, I'll tell you what, June 3rd, 23. My son John was also a union rep for the electrician. Has thousands of contacts. Some of the electrical vans for companies pulled in around me in Louisville, the gas station. Hey, isn't that John's mom? He said that she's never hurt anyone. And it's just these people. And because of these people, he may never see his mom again. And that's his mom. I know. And he said that she's never hurt anyone. They even went to the kids' pediatrician from 1984 to 2002, Dr. Haben's office. He verified he's seen him 3 or 4 times a year for 18 years. There was no sign of any abuse, no sign of neglect, and very well taken care of. Okay? That's where they thought they could pull their bitch move. I didn't even know about it until 21. They had to yell it at me. I ran to the bathroom, threw up. It was 20 or 21. I was out and they were yelling stuff at me. And people looked at him and said, you used amnesia drugs on her. She doesn't even remember you. What part of amnesia? She will never remember what you did to her. So they screamed it at me. I ran to the bathroom, threw up, had diarrhea at the same time. Vomiting, crying my eyes out. Went over to Jim, my one neighbor when he was alive, and I was telling him about it. He's like, Karen, are you sure they're not playing you? I said, I've never seen her talk to anybody. Never had anybody in my home. I said the well water was orange and chunky, and it took us a couple months to get a water treatment system. I said I was blaming it. I get a shower, I get in bed, wake up with orange, lemon, grapefruit-sized bruises, severely infected, throwing up, almost passing out. Times in the morning I'd be fine. I get up and I go outside, more come in, wash my hands, pour a glass of 2-liter of Diet Coke, make a sandwich, go in the bathroom, come out and take a drink in the room, went dizzy and black. And the same thing would happen. Never even had anybody in my home. And he said, Karen, that'd be awful if somebody was playing with you like that. I said, I've never seen her talk to anybody. I never had anybody in my home. He said, Karen, I said, I told the doctor I thought it was a well water. I was trying to make sense out of it. He's like, Karen, that'd be awful if somebody played with you like that. Are you sure they're not playing? No. I never seen her talk to him. Never had him in my home. Nobody for the FBI. I had family repair guys, installation guys. And 2 silly officers in August of 18 midnight. We only had 3 cameras outside. Front porch, back porch, and side yard. Nothing on the inside. We had a light in the midnight and the security system. I called 911 and those officers were silly. Said it looked like an alien orb, angry spirit, and told me to buy a dog and let a dog handle it. They didn't want bothered. They didn't have anybody else. See, that's where if you talk to those people, where did you talk to? I didn't. Where did I meet him? I didn't. Where did I have him at my home? I didn't. Nothing. See, that's where those people try to tell everybody they have the right to do all these things. You know, they don't. And the Fourth Amendment does count. Right on Google, even if an FBI agent would break in somebody's home and stalk them with cameras, not only would they be instantly terminated, loss of license, but any monitoring within a home that is not a protected custody case with a court order is illegal monitoring and is not admissible. So where they tell people they're going to destroy me, they told people in 19 that all their evidence was illegally obtained and could not be used. Officer Reinhardt even said even the FBI would go to jail for being in your home outside that protected custody case with statements he had agreed to protect you and have statements of threat of life in a court order. Or even the FBI would go to jail. Portage County Sheriff's, Ravenna Police, Massillon Police, it's not admissible. Criminal attorney. And here it's documented and verified as framed before in the FBI case by the drug cartel. And it was a drug cartel in my home before. It's a big drug scam. It is also documented and verified they used hypnotic drugs on me when they drugged me and told me to say it before. It's documented and verified the tape of Weird with Yourself is a shower scene in the other room. It's documented and verified that Melissa and her kids are documented in games of pretend. It's documented and verified as found innocent of everything. It's documented and verified Dave was letting some other woman use my insurance and it was one of his girlfriends. It's documented and verified it was fraud, medical malpractice, and medication errors that made me sick before. It's documented and verified. They've got everything verified. See, that's one thing. You know, the officers that worked my case. Now, with being an FBI informant, I'm in immunity for life. They could have looked at these people and said, fuck off. She's an informant, and you need to learn to mind your own business, fuck off. You don't want to hear it. But you know what they did? They cleared my name. Of anything they tried, they cleared it. And they said, we'll clear everything so no one can say a word to her in her life. Even though they can't, they went ahead and made sure they cleared everything. That crazy occult, what they do is they'll come up and tell you a lie. They'll come back and they'll tell you another lie. And then say, well, remember when I told you this? Oh. Then they'll tell you another lie. Well, remember that, so that you believe it to be true. And so they try to brainwash you into believing their lies. That's how they control people. You know, strange, when I was first married, my kids were little, he made up a lie that Tide, McDonald's, and Clorox bleach paid for abortions. And if you went and ate at McDonald's or bought those products, you were paying for abortions. And he told people to go in people's homes, check their cupboards, and if they have it, he's throwing them out of their church. If you see anybody at McDonald's, you tell him, he'll throw them out of church. We weren't allowed to have any, and people would go in people's homes to see what kind of laundry detergent they had. Do you know who put a stop to it? His wife. Months later, about 6 months later, she said, I can't stand having dingy whites. You need to stop this. Then he lifted the ban on McDonald's, Clorox, bleach, and Tide. And all those idiot people, nobody was allowed to go to McDonald's, and they listened to this damn fool. Get the idea? He would just stand up there and lie and lie and lie. But that's what they do, is they brainwash people. They'll come up and say, hey, did you know Joe Schmo was out cheating on his wife? He was out buying prostitutes. Oh, you're kidding. Does she know? No, don't tell her that. Then come back, hey, did you know? We seen him with another woman. Oh, you're kidding. Well, remember what I said about the prostitutes? Yeah, he was caught out with prostitutes. Then you believe their lie. And you know what? He was never around a prostitute. They lied on him. See what I mean? That's where that religion, if you hate someone, you can lie. You get someone to verify it, and now it becomes law. 2, it's permanent law. You can totally destroy somebody's marriage, their home, try to take the custody of their kids. I mean, it's bad. And they're all just lies. But see, that's how they brainwash people. They go up and they tell them a lie, then they'll tell them another lie, and another lie. Well, you remember this? Oh, yeah. Now it becomes a permanent memory. If you don't have the common sense to realize they're lying to you, and a strong enough mind, they can brainwash you. And it's still all lies. I call them the Pinocchio group. The liar, liar, pants on fire, I call them. See, the real law, and see, this is where the real law is. What is the real law? If someone gets hurt, now I had a dog bite, talked to a personal injury attorney. For you to even have a case, you have to be seen at a hospital. You can't just say you were injured. You have to be seen at a hospital. You have to be treated. You have to have pictures of injuries. You have to call police. You have to have a police investigation. Just to even prove you were injured. Then you have to have physical evidence. Can't just have a witness. You have to have physical evidence linking that animal, vehicle, or person to whatever harm you had. You don't have that. You don't have anything. I'd have the DNA from the coat, where the dog bit on my coat and will let go. Bit into my arm. Get the idea? Or I didn't have a case. See, that's where they, in that crazy religion, they thought they could hire drug dealers to come in and drug me up and tell me, say something horrible. And they just have somebody verify it. And then nobody's ever been harmed. It's a bitch move. And I'll tell you what, my son John would tell you, if Melissa wanted to be sole parent of those kids so bad that she pulled that thing with him, you tell him if she can't make it, tell her to go out and work 2 jobs. She thought she was big enough to raise kids by herself. Make sure I wasn't in the picture. You tell her to figure it out herself. Tell her to go work 2 jobs, 3 if she has to. That he didn't want to hear it, and don't bring her problems to him. He's my kid. Get the idea? Get the idea? He's my kid. And he'd tell you, don't you dare help her. Don't you dare. Those people run around lying. Oh, John wants to make sure Melissa gets everything. He'd tell you how to freeze over. And don't you dare help her. See, that's where these people lied. Oh, Danny and Jen reported the tape and weird with yourself. They didn't know anything about it. Won't have anything to do with it. These people, all they do is lie to cause chaos. See, that's where in 24, I was up on the strip. There's a Longhorn restaurant on a Sunday morning. And investigators, some of them were laughing like teenage boys, and about their stun of tapes before. No one fell for them. You can tell that tape of weird with yourself was photoshopped on washing in the shower. And the other guy said it's not even funny. You could tell she was drugged when they drugged her and told her to say it before. I know. And other people, do you realize how horrible this is for her? And how horrible it is. And not funny it is. Never to see or talk to anybody. Never have anybody in your home. And to take a drink out of a drink in the room went dizzy and black. Or just wake up with bruises and throwing up and infected and not know what happened to you in your own home. How not funny this is. April 24th, I take that back. April 19th, 25. April 19th, 25. April 19th, 25, Harville Flea Market. Investigators. How stupid are these people trying this with us? How stupid are they? Nobody ever fell for any of this. Nobody fell for a dirty doctor scam, taping her unaware, confessing a crime, sat on until Dave wanted a divorce. These people are so dumb. They don't know HIPAA. And then Dave said it was just some guy named Petey hired on his own to Danny, not a doctor. Then found out it's supposed to be that Henry Moffey guy that never met me in person. There's HIPAA violations. They don't tape you unaware. They're not with Dave and da-da-da-da-da. It's crazy crap. Those are federal crimes. And then you could tell she was drugged when they drugged her and told her to say it before. And some parts of it sounded mechanical. We knew they altered everything. And nobody fell for the tape of weird with yourself. You knew it was photoshopped on washing in the shower. They photoshopped everything. I couldn't believe how dumb they were trying this with us. See, that's where other investigators, we never fell for this. See, that's where Sheriff David Mike DeWine's cousin, I went out to eat with him. He was asking me about all this. And he said, are your local police law? He said, everything's digital. You can take words out of sentences, other sentences, tape over them. Make it look like you said something you didn't. And he said you can put your head on somebody else's body, eye color, hair color, clothing, scenery. Nothing's been trustworthy for years. And we all know those date rape drugs, you're sleepwalking under someone else's control. Is your local police law. Nobody's allowed in anybody's home. I was telling Sheriff Joe in Florida about it, and he was swearing. He's like, these people are pulling nothing but fucking shit. What do you mean they weren't arrested the first day? No one's allowed in your home. Just like it said on Google, any illegal monitoring, in someone's home with button cameras or listening devices, not only is it not admissible, and the only time police and it even says the only time that they can be in there is protected custody cases in a court order. Otherwise, it is loss of license, and it is not admissible. Where the Massillon police, they talked about a Stephen Eric doing it in the first case, and October, November 21. I'm here to watch her. There's a Stephen Eric stalking her. We don't know who they are yet. And it's actually got funny after everything they did. Nothing's admissible. It's right of privacy. That's where my friend Walter from the prosecutor's office, it's a big fraud scheme. Karen, where you had all the signs of being drugged, being raped, and they were laughing at you in stores in front of people. They drugged you and told you to say it before they probably did. That's why they're laughing at you. We all know you're sleepwalking with those drugs, and you were being seen by the doctor for all those injuries. Somebody was hurting you. Even though they never thought of a rapist, somebody was hurting you. And where they laugh at you, they photoshopped a shower scene in the other room. They probably did. It's clicking and pasting. It's a big fraud scheme, Karen. Don't worry about it. That's what Officer Reinhardt Louisville, when I was telling about it, don't even worry about it. It's the Fourth Amendment. Nothing they have is admissible. Criminal attorney, too. You know, last year when they documented, verified, they used hypnotic drugs on me when they drugged me and told me to say it before. After that, some guy showed up and he was on the phone. He said, Agent John, he said, stop dicking around and pay her. These people are threatening to get the case thrown out because he hasn't paid her yet. It is a federal crime for an FBI agent ever to try to silence an informant. First Amendment, freedom of speech. If you actually look at the freedom of speech, no one in the United States can tell you can't say anything but a judge in a jury trial. No judge could sign any court order taking your freedom of speech away outside a jury trial. They can't sign anything. They would go to jail, and so would the agent, and then made to pay back any kind of money that was lost. And it's like 20, 30 years. Because under the color of the law, no one can take your rights away. That's why only police and agencies can be in a home under threat of life with statements in a court order. There is nothing else. Fourth Amendment, and it does count. And what is a jail sentence for an FBI agent if he tells an informant if they say something they don't get their money? It is 20 to life. And for a judge if they signed it. It is tampering with a witness, obstruction to justice, extortion out of government funds, a crime against U.S. government, and blackmail. It's 20 to life and for the judge. Same thing if they would say you wouldn't get any protection. It's attempted murder, aiding and abetting crimes, obstruction to justice, and tampering with a witness. It's 20 to 30 years for both if they would sign it. It's also documented, verified in the case that the agent that returned my phone call was the one telling on me for calling the hotline before he spoke to me at that church. It's also documented and verified how he, the recorded line, that he admitted that he had everyone in his office, all those church people in his office, and knew they were trying to kill me. It's where the police all thought it was an act, because it's so illegal. That's where the case can get thrown out if I'm not paid. And because of everything I lived through, they need a willing statement that I was willing to go through that. Or the drug dealers will walk, where they've been laughing at the legal loophole they left open. I have to be paid. Like Walter said, she's from the prosecutor's office. You have to be paid. Or they can get it thrown out. It's on Google. They can. It could also get thrown out for me being mistreated. So that's where the willing statement, the willing to stay up there while they surveillance me, willing to risk my life, personal injury, possible death, but still staying up there under my own will while they surveillance me to get these people that were threatening my life and harming me, knowing my constitutional rights, First Amendment. That other agent was just bullying me. Sign it, notarize it, it'll take it out of abuse to a willing worker and then pay me and compensate me. And I do need a medical card. I have a lot of injuries. But see, the cartel thinks it's funny because they're planning on taking a $10 to $25 billion heist from the government. Because like June 3rd, 26 down in Bell's store, I was there several times in the morning. I was in the bathroom. Some girls came in, the Kingsmen are dying laughing. The FBI would rather let their drug dealers walk, let them sue for tens of millions of dollars for false arrest under fraud because they defrauded her. Instead of paying her what little bit of money they owe her and stand up for their own case. They're dying laughing. They're all going to be millionaires because they won't pay her what little money they owe her. They'd rather let their drug dealers walk. They can't believe it. Well, that night when I went in there, there was people in there. They got a hold of the investigator from March 20th, 26 Walmart West Test by the electronics. Been around me since 18. And he had told them that Melissa and her kids are documenting me games of pretend and that I had never hurt anyone. And this is a scam from the human traffickers. It's a big drug scam from the people that were selling people. So that they have to pay me. I went on Google and it can get thrown out for that. Talked to a criminal attorney years ago and he told me they have to pay you. It makes the case legal, seals the loophole. On top of it, I was found innocent of everything years ago. It's just a big drug scam from drug dealers. I'm going to upload this.